My name is Amy Strobel. I'm a psychiatric therapist, social worker, and I've been friends with Scott since kindergarten. So when he asked me to help out with the show tonight, I immediately said yes. Helping others is what my life has been about. It's what I do for a living. Scott asked me because of my personal connection to tonight's cause, breast cancer. I am a breast cancer survivor. Of course I wanted to help the show. Giving is an easy thing for most of us. We want to help other people out. It also makes us feel good about ourselves. We have compassion when we see someone in need. So I've been geared most of my life to give. To be on the receiving end of someone's giving, though, is a different story. I'm happy to share with you that I'm 8 years clean of breast cancer, and each time I tell someone that, it reaffirms my health. It brightens my day to hear a woman say, I've been cancer-free for 10, 15, 20 years. It does me good to hear survivors say this, whether I know them or not. I was diagnosed at 39. I was a single mother raising 3 children. And somehow, through the grace of God, I immediately decided that I was going to be okay. I wasn't going anywhere anytime soon. I had kids to raise. That belief never left me. I wasn't scared of dying. I was, however, very concerned about my ability to take care of my kids while dealing with the physical and the mental fallout of treatment. Surgery, chemo, radiation, hair loss, nausea, hair loss, fatigue, extreme fatigue, and did I mention the hair loss? Complete hair loss. Let's not forget about my other big fear as well, my financial future. I was self-employed at the time, had horrible insurance, not much of a savings account, single mom, 3 kids. I mentioned that, I think. Okay, so surgery, chemo, and then boom, you're bald, completely bald. It really kind of works for Scott, but it really didn't work for me. It's quite an experience to look in the mirror and not recognize yourself. To have acquaintances and strangers look at you with that same sympathetic stare. A very gracious friend actually bought me a $300 wig. I couldn't afford the wig. I was broke, remember? Recalling this reminded me about a classmate of my daughter Claire's. He actually made fun of my bald head one day when I came to pick her up from school. I was without a hat, without any cover, thanks to my 5-minute hot flashes, compliments of the chemo. Claire was doing her best at 8 to take care of Mom. She stepped up with her brave and loving heart. She defended me. She gave that little boy a good butt chewing. It was a bittersweet moment for me. I was so proud of Claire for taking the morally correct road. I also had this immense sadness, though, for Claire. At 8, she had to watch after me. Wasn't I supposed to be taking care of her? What kind of mother is so weak and tired that her 60-pound daughter has to take on her battle? As I mentioned earlier, receiving help from others is really difficult for most of us. A dear friend later talked me through it. Why not let her be there for you? Yes, compassion is a good quality, and I've tried to instill it in my children, but I really didn't want to be on the receiving end of it. I had a strong dislike for being forced into a position to need help from so many people. Everyone around me, and not just Claire, my other 2 children, doctors, nurses, friends, family members, co-workers, and even random strangers. Receiving, being on by far the hardest lesson for me during that time. My cancer did eventually teach me that it was okay to rely on others in tough times. The rules change with cancer, and it humbles you. There is one thing, though, that I haven't quite learned from this experience, and maybe some of you ladies out there can give me some insight after the show. As a single lady in the jungle of dating out there, when do you mention you only have half of a right boob? I'm not really sure. Thanks to Victoria's Secret, though, I have been able to keep that to myself for the most part, but you do have to eventually share some of that information. In all seriousness, I'm thankful to be here tonight and thankful to be alive. My brother emailed me after I sent him this and said, I'm glad you lived to tell your story, sis. Me too. It's nice to be on the helping side of things again. Remember, if you know someone with breast cancer, that she too might be struggling and having a hard time being on the receiving end of things. In the past, she was the one doing the giving. It is a huge adjustment. Have patience, and don't give up offering your help. Before I give up the microphone to this incredible talent waiting in the wings, thankfully I don't have to follow, I'd personally like to thank Sheila Seiler and the Susan G. Komen Evansville Tri-State Affiliate for actually being there and supporting me when I needed that assistance way back 8 long years ago. I hope my involvement tonight is a small way of giving back to them. Thanks.